Good afternoon. My name is Sam Wick, and today I will be showing you how to create a shield object entirely in Lightwave 3D. Now, there are better ways to do a shield effect in After Effects and Photoshop, but for those individuals who only have Lightwave, this is a decent way to do it. This will get you some good results. I was inspired to make this tutorial by Lone Rider. I saw this wonderful image over on Foundation 3D, and this shield effect here, to which Lone Rider responded, I love the shields on the second picture. Did you do that? I'd love to learn to do that. Now, Medjadi, I can't pronounce that, says he did it in Photoshop, but I think there's a way to do it in Lightwave, and I think I can get something close to this, so let's see. First thing to do is to open up the modeler and create a ball object. Now this will be the shield, something like that, and up like that. Then go ahead and segment it. Whoops. Okay. And there may be better ways to do it, but this is just how I learned to do it. And actually, I'm going to go a bit higher. I'll go up that high. Tab it. I'm going to shrink it down just slightly like this. Okay, so now we have an object that looks roughly like this. Go ahead and texture it. I'm just going to call it shield, and pick a blue color. I already have that layer, so just pick a blue color, say OK, and go ahead and save your object. Let's see, shield. Okay, save. Override. I'm just going to send the object to the layout. Now, I already have a scene set up here. I guess I should go ahead and do a quick render of this to show y'all what it looks like. And Lightwave will do that from time to time. So this is just a basic, straight out of Lightwave scene. Now, I'm going to add a shield effect over this ship. So, let's go ahead and take our shield object, which we have here, and go ahead and size it over the ship. We can stretch it however need be. You just want to make sure it covers the entirety of the ship. That's going to be okay, because we're not going to see the entire back of the shield. Just kind of get this object in place. Now if we go to VPR, I'm going to do a lot in VPR, and I know the quality of this recording isn't the greatest. I apologize for that. Just try to follow along. Okay, so here we are in VPR, and it doesn't look like much. So first thing we need to do is to, let's see, go ahead, go to your shield object, go ahead and give it a blue shield color, something like that. I'm going to go ahead and bump the luminosity up to 100 and the diffuse all the way down. Now what we need to do next, let's come out of here, is to create an object light. Let's see. I'm going to create a point light and call it shield. And just go ahead and bring that up here. And you'll see why we're doing this in a second. Now, going into the objects, I'll go back to VPR mode, and I'm going to just see surface shield. I'm just going to make it 100% transparent right now. So our object, we don't want the shield light to affect the starship in our image, so we're just going to come over here to lights and disable the shield light. Yeah. Go ahead and disable all lights for your nebula object, or for your shield object here. Go ahead and disable all the lights, and then for this, just go ahead and disable the shield light, and that'll keep the scene like you want it. And now we're going to come back over here. We're going to lower the transparency, and we're going to come over here into transparency. Now go to gradient, and you'll see it automatically removes that. That's fine for now. Go ahead and just create another thing here. Put a value at 0, and then come down here into light incidence. and then select your shield light. So already you can see this is starting to roughly look like the shield we wanted earlier. Now we can play around with this a bit, but as you can see, as we move the shield light around, hold on. As we move the shield light around, it should change. Yeah, you can see it changes how the shield affects it. Now, I actually like that, so I'm going to leave the light there. Go ahead and enable smoothing on this object. Leave the transparency there. Now, what we can start doing is just position the shield light a bit better. I'm going to bring it a bit higher up, put it back a bit, see where it is in relation to the other objects in the scene. Okay, bring it down, bring it over, because I kind of want it to be off-centered. Yeah, that looks good. Let's see what it looks like in VPR. That'll do. That'll do. So already you can see we kind of have this shield here started. The next thing to do is to come over under Surface tab, and we're just going to play around with this a bit more. Create some more sliders. You can see if we can bring that down and make it a very contained shield effect just right there. We can raise it a bit, bring it up. I'm actually going to bring it a bit higher. Hold on, just kind of play around with this a bit till you get something that looks roughly like you like. And I'm going to go ahead and put this value. You don't want the shield to be entirely, you want the shield to be a little transparent. So we can kind of see through it, and that creates a good illusion of energy. I'm going to bring that down and then go ahead and set this to 0. No, I'm not. Go ahead and leave it like that. Now, let's see. We can go ahead and see this. We're just kind of refining it down to just cover the area that we want. And if we were to invert that, you can create all kinds of neat effects this way. So we'll kind of just leave, say, that area, leave that there, and maybe lower this, raise this. Like I said, you can create neat effects. I'm actually going to put this at about 95%, because I kind of like just being able to see just kind of the faint outline of the rest of the shield. But if you don't like that, if you just want to have it over your given area, you can leave that at 100%. Don't go above 100. And actually, I kind of want it offset a bit more, so I'm going to go ahead and move this light off back here to the side. Okay. So I'm moving it around again, just repositioning it. Say okay, move it over here. There we go. So if we had a phaser beam or a photon torpedo hitting it from this side, you can see how the shield would activate. Now, we could leave it like that, and that produces a shield effect that's roughly similar to this. Now you can obviously play around with it more, the gradients, to get a much more refined edge on it, or a softer edge, however you want. But I'm going to come under here and go to luminosity, and I'm going to go ahead and create a procedural texture and a crumpled texture. Now if we set this higher, say up to 200%, we can create a much neater shield effect. Now if we just have 1 or 2, look at this. Yeah, if we just have 1 there, I'll go ahead and render that out, so you can, because I know the quality of this recording is pretty low. Okay, but say we don't want that. We want it, that's not quite the effect we want yet. That's a neat shield effect, that's not quite what we want. So we can keep playing with this. All kinds of effects we can make. But let's do that, and then I'm going to go ahead and set that to 300. See, the higher you set that, the more energy there'd be in the shield. Make it a lot brighter. So let's just kind of play around with this till you get something roughly that you like. Leave it at 5, and I'm going to set this to, how big do I want to make this? So you can play around with the sizes on here too. No, No, set that to 2. So this to 2. There we go. Now we can come over here under the color tab and do another procedural texture and create an even variation in the color of the shields. That kind of low. So you don't want too sharp of edges because energy would be very undefined. There's a lot of just playing around until you get something that looks roughly like what you like. And I actually like that. I like that look for a shield. So I'll go ahead and render this and then insert this into the video too so you can see what this looks like. Now, I'll just go ahead. I do want to define this a bit more. I'm going to do, yes, a lot closer like that. Bring that down there. Put that down here. Now what I'm going to do is move this light over to the other side of the ship, and that's how you get an edge effect when it's over on the far side. So there, you see that's a very good shield effect. Here, I'll render that out and show you as well. And there you go. That's roughly, I mean, it's not quite this, but it's pretty close. And if you keep playing with the gradient settings and the transparency slider and just have a straight luminosity, then you can get an effect very much like this. And now, because I just have a few minutes left, I'm just going to go ahead and add, just for the heck of it, a phaser beam and just have some fun. Okay. Let's see. We can bring the scale down a bit. There we go. And now I will come in here. See. I know what to do. Lights, point light. Okay. Make this, just bring a point light right about here where the impact is. This is what I'll use. Let's see. Objects. Shield. We want to exclude that light. And here, I'll take this point light we just added, make it blue, and then this will serve as the impact on the shield of the ship, and it'll cast the light onto the hull. Come back in here, lens flare. Random streaks, we'll say intensity is 3, streak density will make that something like 6. Put that down about 0.5. And we'll see, well, that may be a bit high. Take that down to about 65. Go to the Fed phaser. I'm going to select all lights, and I'm going to open it, and I'm going to say don't cast a shadow at all. Oh yeah, there we go. We don't want that casting a shadow. Now for the final render, I'm going to come over here to compositing options, processing, and again I do this completely different if I was doing it in with a mixture of programs, but because this is going to be entirely in Lightwave to blend the starship with the background, Let's see. There's a blur in here, full precision blur. And we're going to give this a 2.5, 2.5, no. Just a straight up 2, 50, 50. What this is going to do is it'll blur all of the elements and just help to blend the ship with the background, with the phaser, with the lens flare, and it'll look better in the end. Two may have been a bit much. I do like to add a bit of blur to the scene though. That just helps, beyond anti-aliasing, that just helps to blend all the elements together. But anyhow, that's how you go about creating a simple shield effect. And I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I may make more in the future, maybe on just very basic space lighting and things like that. If you want me to make a tutorial on something, leave a comment and I may get to that. I'm pretty busy right now, so I'll make them when I have time. That's all for now.